Hi everybody, welcome back to this channel. It's been such a long time. I know things have been crazy, uh, but it's okay. Now we are back. I'm really thankful to the new subscribers and to those ones who stayed. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. So today I'm going to touch on a very interesting topic. I did a small kind of survey on Facebook, and I was just asking men what they know about their sexual and reproductive health. Yeah, because I know that's something that is less talked about. And very interesting because most men actually do not have any idea about their sexual and reproductive health. I came to find out that most of them actually think when you bring up the topic of sexual and reproductive health, it's just all about sex. I mean, sexual intercourse and everything. So some were making not so wise comments about sexual and reproductive health, but not to blame them because, I mean, I can imagine here in Kenya, most programs are actually focused on women, most sexual and reproductive health programs. So I thought that's something very important to talk about. Like, apart from just sex, what else do men know about their sexual and reproductive health? Uh, First of all, we'll start with their sexual behavior. Do you know your sexual behavior is part of your sexual and reproductive health? So, under this sexual behavior, someone posted a very interesting comment, and he said that sexual and reproductive health is only important for men who are 30 years and above and with experience. And this makes me ask about, men's age and fertility. When are men's age to be fertile? And I tend to think the fertile age probably is from 14, 15 and above. Yeah. So when a man is 15 years, does it mean that he should not know anything about his sexual behavior? Should nobody talk to him about his sexual behavior? Yeah. Because most young men, and that's like men below 30, have an active sexual life. So does it mean that these people do not need information on their sexual behavior? Like, shouldn't they know anything about their sexual behavior? Because as it is, it's very important to have a healthy sexual behavior, something that it's respectful to both yourself as a man and also to your partner, right? And sometimes the religion says you preserve the sex to the married only. In as much as there's that preservation, like you want to wait until marriage to have sex, it's also very important to have information. If you choose to wait, it's also very important to have information on your sexual behavior. Like, you should know what it entails, and everything that entails sexual and reproductive health. In as much as you're waiting, have that knowledge, which is very important. So we start with the knowledge. Knowledge is power. You get to know everything about yourself and everything you need to do and the decisions you need to make. And it's just being right, with your mental state, with everything, your physical state. It's important for men to have that information. Another second one is sexually transmitted diseases. This is something that is also involved in the men's sexual and reproductive health. There are actually very many sexually transmitted diseases. There's HIV, which everybody knows. There's chlamydia, there's gonorrhea, there's herpes. So it's important for men to have that information, that they can get infected. They can get these diseases from engaging in sexual activities, right? So, and when they get these diseases, what happens? It's important to visit a health professional. It's men, there's some survey I read that actually men would rather, die than see a health professional to help them. When it's suffering and all that, that's when they get to see someone. But when you notice something amiss, or when you feel something is different with your body, it's actually a cue for you to go and see a health professional. Even when you feel okay, when you feel healthy, do you go for screening at least once a year, to know the status of your reproductive health? Are you okay? Is everything fine? It's not something that only women should do. It's also something that also men should do. You should take care of your reproductive health just as much as a woman does, right? So you protect yourself from these sexually transmitted diseases. And these diseases, they don't just come and they're just diseases and all that. They also cause other issues. They cause issues like infertility, right, in men. And they can also cause infertility in women, so men can pass it to their partners, and it can also affect their partners. So it's actually something that men should actually be involved in. In our society today, people are so focused on, preventing pregnancy than thinking about these sexually transmitted diseases. So a risky sexual behavior is likely to lead to this sexually transmitted diseases. And if they can affect people so much, why not prevent them? If they can be life-threatening, why not prevent them, right? Another thing that is also important to know is contraception, like the male contraceptives. There are a number of male contraceptives. Most men actually prefer that their partners take contraception instead of them. But if you choose to take a contraception as a man, it's also good to, seek medical advice, just like a woman would. Sit with a doctor and discuss your options intensively and know what you're actually getting yourself into. There's vasectomy, which very few men would still prefer. I know most men would say, no, I don't want this, but it's probably because they don't have information on this vasectomy and how it's done. What's flying around are the myths around it, yeah, which is causing fear. But then, have you sat with a doctor and discussed this option? If maybe you don't want any children, or you feel you've had enough children, sit down with your doctor, discuss your options. Vasectomy, what does it involve? What are the side effects? If I do it, what will happen to me, to my body, to my life, things like that. That's something that is very important to discuss. And also, someone mentioned withdrawal as a form of contraception. I think that is very self-explanatory. There are also condoms, which are less intrusive and very convenient for people. They actually prevent STDs and unintended pregnancies. Yeah, so it's very important for men to have all this information. What's most important is to sit with a health professional and discuss your options, your contraception options, because even men take contraceptions. It's okay, it's prudent. So there's actually nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Another thing that men should think about when it comes to their sexual and reproductive health is actually pregnancies and abortions, right? Unintended pregnancies and abortions. It's good to have education on them. You'll find that like most young men would deny a pregnancy. When a girl gets pregnant, they would deny a pregnancy and say, no, but we did it only once. Yeah, that it shows that they don't have information on this, on pregnancies. They have no information whatsoever. So it's actually very important to have information, good information, on pregnancies and abortions, because in as much as they affect the young mother or the mother, they also affect, the man. The men have a role in it. When there's an unintended pregnancy somewhere, there's a man also involved. There's a man who has a role in it, because girls don't get themselves pregnant. Isn't that right? Let's be honest, abortion in Kenya is not allowed unless it's advised by a health professional, right? So, but you'll find that people still maybe carry out abortions in other situations that they think are not comfortable for them. Whatever consequences are there, whether it's successful or not, a man has a role in it, and therefore a man should know everything that is involved in this abortion. They have an active role in this pregnancy and also have an active role in this abortion. So it's important for the men to know everything that it entails. It's also good for young people to have information on these unintended pregnancies and abortions, things that come with them, because people think it's all rosy. When you see young people having babies and all that, and some young people would think it's all rosy and everything else, but once you have the baby and you see all the care that the baby needs and everything, and you realize, oh my gosh, I am not ready. So the men should also be involved in information concerning unintended pregnancies and abortions. They should know everything, that you know what happens when you engage in sexual activities. And then another thing is about contraception. And someone mentioned a very interesting comment. He mentioned withdrawal as a form of contraception, which is, I think, very self-explanatory. There's also vasectomy, which I know many men would probably, I've seen many men saying, oh no, I can't do a vasectomy. But actually there are men who choose to do it when probably you feel you don't want any children, or you've had enough children. It's good to do a vasectomy. Sometimes it's not right to just wait for the woman to have the contraception. If you can take initiative as a man and you're willing to do it, it's actually good. It's actually a good thing. And I think it's also good for men to get information on this vasectomy. Instead of relying on myths that are very scary and everything, it's very good to get accurate information from a health professional, so that you know what you're getting into and what it entails and the options that you have. So like, if you can't do a vasectomy, what other form of contraception can I do as a man? Yeah, and there's also the use of condoms, which is very self-explanatory. These are all to prevent unintended pregnancies and STDs. And a condom is actually a really good method because it's not intrusive, and it's actually cheap, and yeah, it's something that is very good. And men should have a responsibility to seek information about the condoms, because there are also myths about condoms, and some probably would not want to use, or saying it causes blah blah blah, So, but it's very good to learn about the use of contraception and the methods that are available, as a supportive partner. If you can get a contraception as a man, it's awesome. It's really good. Yeah. Another important aspect on the sexual and reproductive health for men is mental health. Yeah, mental health is very important. Their psychological state is very important. It's very important for a man to be healthy, psychologically. You are very sure that your reproductive health, your sexual and reproductive health, everything is fine, you have no issues. And this is why I insist. It's very good to see a health professional, even when you feel okay, so that you're well, everything, you have all the information. A correct mental state can only come when you have all the information that you need. So it's not, when it comes to sexual and reproductive health, it's not about sex. It's not just about women. It's also something that should involve men. And I realize men don't know anything about their sexual and reproductive health, which is very sad. Yeah, it's actually very sad. Yeah, most men don't even care. Hopefully with this very tiny little information, you have you have some idea of your sexual and reproductive health, and probably you'll start thinking about it more and give it more importance, right? You should learn about it, get information about it. You have a right to information, seek information about your health. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll end this video here, and then we'll catch up later. Bye.